He went to bed just like any other night. No pain, no warning, just silence. And then nothing. By sunrise, his wife found him still lying there. Peaceful, but gone. Doctors said it was sudden cardiac arrest, but what triggered it? The answer shocked even them. Because the truth is, millions of people do exactly what he did before bed every single night. A small, seemingly harmless routine that silently raises blood pressure, tightens arteries, and can stop the heart without a single cry for help. And no, it's not drugs or alcohol or anything you'd call extreme. It's something far more common, something sitting in your kitchen right now. But before I tell you what it is, let's step into his final day. The clues hide in plain sight. It was an ordinary Tuesday. He woke up early, grabbed a coffee, skipped breakfast. Like always. At work, a few meetings, a bit of stress, but nothing major. He laughed with coworkers, texted his wife that he'd pick up dinner on the way home. Completely fine. That night, after watching TV, he did the one thing he always did before bed. Something he believed helped him relax. A small comfort that had quietly turned deadly over time. He lay down, phone in hand, scrolling for a few minutes before his eyes grew heavy. His heart rate slowed, his breathing softened. Then, sometime around 2:40 a.m., everything stopped. When doctors looked deeper, they realized it wasn't random. It was a chain reaction triggered by one silent mistake millions repeat every night. So what exactly did he do? And how can it stop a healthy heart cold? Every night, right before bed, he'd grab something sweet, a chilled can of an energy drink he swore helped him unwind. He didn't know that caffeine and sugar hours before sleep can force your heart to keep racing while your body's trying to rest. That combination is toxic at night. Your blood thickens from dehydration, your vessels constrict, the heart works overtime in silence, and when you finally drift off, your body's control systems, heart rate, blood pressure, oxygen, start to misfire. He wasn't the only one. Studies have shown that consuming caffeine or high-sugar drinks too close to bedtime doubles the risk of sudden nighttime cardiac events. Yet millions still do it, thinking it's harmless. The can was empty on his bedside table when his wife found him. To her, it was just another habit. To his heart, it was a ticking fuse. But how does one drink cause a deadly storm while you sleep? The answer lies deep inside your bloodstream. As he fell asleep, his body did what it always does, slowed everything down. But the caffeine and sugar still rushed through his veins, whispering, "Stay awake." His heart got mixed signals, rest and run at the same time. When that happens, your nervous system goes haywire. The stress hormone cortisol stays high. Blood pressure spikes instead of dropping like it should at night. The heart chambers struggle to relax, and tiny electrical misfires can turn into lethal arrhythmias. Now imagine that happening while you're unconscious. No chance to call for help, no warning pain. Just a surge, a flutter, then silence. That's how silent nighttime cardiac arrest claims thousands of lives every year. Doctors call it the perfect storm. Fatigue, stress, dehydration, and a stimulant, all colliding during your body's deepest rest cycle. But why does this storm hit during sleep instead of while we're awake? That's the mystery specialists have been trying to solve. Here's the chilling truth. Your heart isn't always safest when you're resting. During deep sleep, your blood pressure and heartbeat naturally dip. But if stimulants or stress hormones are still active, the heart can overcorrect, spiking or skipping beats. Doctors say this is when many hidden heart issues surface. Arteries that were slightly clogged during the day can tighten completely under a sudden pressure surge. Blood thickens from dehydration, oxygen drops, and the brain's alert systems are offline. In other words, your body's defenses are asleep too. That's why up to 25% of heart attacks and strokes happen between midnight and 6 a.m. It's not bad luck. It's biology, fighting itself in the dark. Our man's heart didn't fail out of nowhere. It was pushed past its limit while his mind dreamed he was safe. So, what warning signs could have told him danger was coming? And how can you spot them before it's too late? The body whispers before it screams. That's the cruel part. Most people ignore the small red flags that show up hours before a nighttime heart event. Things like, your heart fluttering when you lie down, sudden dizziness when you roll over, or feeling anxious for no reason right before sleep. He felt them too, a tightness in his chest, a racing pulse he brushed off as too much coffee. But those tiny warnings were his body begging him to slow down. Experts say even mild nighttime palpitations, cold sweats, or waking up gasping for air can point to a hidden cardiovascular issue. Yet most shrug it off, thinking it's stress or indigestion. These early tremors are like sparks before the fire. When ignored, they can escalate silently once you drift into deep sleep. So, what actually turns those sparks into a full-blown disaster inside your arteries? Let's follow the chain reaction. It starts small, a single heartbeat that comes too early. Your body compensates with another, stronger one. The blood pressure jumps. Arteries, already tense from caffeine or salt, tighten like overstretched rubber bands. That tension sends your heart racing just as your brain is drifting off. Meanwhile, dehydration thickens the blood, making it harder to pump. The heart struggles, oxygen dips, and a dangerous rhythm forms. Rapid, uneven, chaotic. In seconds, a normal heartbeat can turn into ventricular fibrillation, the same rhythm that stops the heart cold. During the day, your body might correct it. But at night, your nervous system is quiet, your muscles still, your awareness gone. There's no second chance. This is what likely happened to him, the perfect storm set off by one harmless nightly habit. But here's the haunting part. Doctors say this scenario isn't rare. In fact, it's increasing, and the reasons go far beyond energy drinks. In the last decade, hospitals have reported a sharp rise in sudden deaths that happen during sleep, especially among people under 50 who seemed perfectly healthy. Researchers call it silent cardiac arrest, and it's becoming disturbingly common. Part of the problem? Lifestyle overlap. Too much screen time, stress, caffeine, alcohol, late-night meals, all quietly sabotaging the heart's recovery cycle. Add in dehydration and sleep deprivation, and the body never truly rests. A 2022 study found that people who routinely consume stimulants or eat heavy meals within 2 hours of bedtime are twice as likely to experience a nighttime heart or stroke event. It's not just poor luck, it's modern life pressing on the gas while the heart's trying to hit the brakes. Our man's story isn't an outlier, it's a warning. Millions are unknowingly walking the same tightrope every night. So what are the biggest hidden culprits behind these nighttime killers? Let's break down the top 5. Doctors say most nighttime heart and stroke emergencies can be traced to a few repeat offenders. Let's count them down. Number 1. Eating too close to bedtime. Heavy or fatty meals force your body to digest when it should be resting, spiking blood pressure and reflux. Number 2. Caffeine or nicotine after sunset. Both trigger adrenaline, keeping the heart wired when it should slow. Number 3. Alcohol nightcaps. That glass of wine may make you sleepy, but it also dehydrates you and disrupts heart rhythm. Number 4. Sleep apnea left untreated. Every pause in breathing lowers oxygen, straining the heart thousands of times per night. Number 5. Skipping hydration. Going to bed mildly dehydrated thickens the blood, making clots more likely during deep sleep. Each one seems harmless, until they stack together. That's what happened to him. Late meal, energy drink, dehydration. The perfect combo. But these aren't death sentences. Every one of them can be reversed if you know how to change them in time. There was Maya, 37, a fitness instructor. She'd finish late-night classes, grab a protein shake with caffeine, and crash right after. One morning, she didn't wake up. Doctors called it an arrhythmic event. Translation: her heart couldn't handle the mixed signals. Then there's David, 52, who used to unwind with whiskey in his phone before bed. He thought the drink helped him sleep. In truth, it dehydrated him and masked the signs of high blood pressure. A silent stroke hit him at 3 a.m. He survived, but half his body didn't. These stories aren't rare. They're just rarely told. People think they're safe because they're not old or sick. But the heart doesn't care about birthdays. It cares about balance. And balance, especially at night, comes down to one thing: how you let your body recover. So what's actually happening inside the heart when it gets pushed too far? And how can understanding that help you prevent it? When you fall asleep, your heart shifts gears. It slows down, repairs tissue, and balances electrolytes. Think of it like a mechanic tuning an engine overnight. But if stimulants, alcohol, or stress hormones are in the mix, that mechanic can't work. The engine keeps revving instead of resting. Normally, your parasympathetic nervous system takes charge, lowering heart rate and blood pressure. That's your body's recovery mode. But when you flood it with caffeine, sugar, or dehydration, the sympathetic system, your fight-or-flight response, stays on. The heart never truly gets its break. Over time, this constant tension wears down the arteries, thickens the blood, and confuses the electrical system that keeps your heart in rhythm. That's how healthy people end up in sudden cardiac events with no history of heart disease. So how do you protect your own heart's recovery cycle? Starting tonight? Let's break down the habits that truly make a difference. Here's the good news. You can undo most of the damage just by changing small nightly habits. Start with these. 1. Hydrate before sleep. 1 glass of water 30 minutes before bed keeps your blood flowing smoothly. 2. Cut caffeine after 2 p.m. It stays in your system for hours, even when you don't feel it. 3. Eat dinner early. Give your body at least 3 hours to digest before lying down. 4. Skip alcohol as a sleep aid. It may knock you out, but it prevents deep, restorative rest. 5. Get checked for sleep apnea. If you snore, wake up tired, or gasp at night, get tested. It's life-saving. These simple steps lower nighttime blood pressure, restore your natural rhythm, and help the heart recover like it's meant to. He didn't know these rules. Most people don't. But knowing them now could save someone you love. And that's where this story turns from tragedy into prevention. After his death, his wife couldn't stop replaying that night. The half-empty can on the nightstand, the quiet hum of his phone. She told doctors he didn't smoke, he didn't drink. He just wanted to sleep. That line broke them. When she learned how caffeine and dehydration strain the heart during rest, she was stunned. If we'd known, she said, he'd still be here. Now she shares his story online, warning others about nighttime habits that feel safe but aren't. His teenage son even taped a note above the fridge, "No energy drinks after 6." A small reminder that one change can rewrite a future. Their grief turned into a message, and it's one worth spreading. Because while medicine saves lives, awareness prevents loss. But what's the biggest lesson from all this tragedy? It's simpler than you think. His story isn't just about one bad habit. It's about how easy it is to ignore what feels normal. We live in a world that tells us to push harder, sleep later, and drink something to keep going, even when our bodies beg for rest. But the heart keeps score. Nighttime should be when healing happens. Instead, for many people, it's when damage quietly builds up, until one night, the system fails. The lesson is simple but urgent. What you do before sleep matters as much as what you do during the day. So tonight, skip the stimulants. Breathe deep. Put the phone away. Let your heart slow down the way it's designed to. Because prevention isn't about fear. It's about respect for the one muscle that never stops working for you. But before we close, there's one more thing I want you to do. Something that could literally save a life. If you watch this far, you already care. And that means you're the kind of person who can save someone else. Share this story with your friends, your parents, your partner. Because most people don't die from ignorance. They die from silence. Start a small change tonight. A glass of water before bed. A caffeine cutoff after lunch. A real bedtime. No screens, no stimulants. One tiny shift can ripple through your body like a quiet rescue. And if you ever feel your heart race for no reason at night, don't ignore it. Listen, that's your body's alarm, not your imagination. He didn't get a second chance. But maybe you, or someone you love, will, just by hearing this. Take care of your heart. Sleep isn't just rest. It's survival.